Hello, beautiful hearts. I am Carissa with Two Open Hearts, and today we will be looking over a message, an important message from one of your dragon guides. So right now we have 3 cards. This is card number 1, pile number 1. This will be pile number 2, and this will be pile number 3. Kind of feel in with your intuition. Sometimes it's really helpful to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths before you choose your card. You can see which number is calling to you, whatever way picks to you, and sometimes you'll be drawn to more than one card, so that is also okay. So when you're ready, just pick one of the cards and we'll see you at the timestamps. Take all the time you need. You can pause this if you need a little more time. Welcome, Pile 1, to your dragon message reading today. This was the card that you picked earlier, and when we flip it over, it is Celtic dragon that you have today. How beautiful. Set this over here. And I actually have a piece of celestite here. This is what it looks like, the crystal the dragon's holding. And I'll set that over here for the remainder of the reading. Set it there. Oh. Okay, so for the oracle portion, I'm going to read the book because it's got some good information, and then I'll see what else comes to me. Celtic dragon, spiritual development, clairvoyance, peace, and relieves stress. Your soul craves peace. Peace in your heart, mind, and spirit. It longs for the feeling of harmony and contentment you have when all is right with the world. When all the stress you have seems to disappear and your relationships run smoothly. With issues being resolved as you are able to look at things with an open mind and a peaceful heart. So Celtic dragon is here to bring this peace to you and to let you know that you are loved and protected, especially at this time. Celtic dragon also knows you have many spiritual gifts and wants to help you open them more fully through constant prayer and meditation. As you do this, you will be divinely guided and more closely connected to your angels, the divine, and what they wish you to know. Take a breath and feel the peace that surrounds you, and know that you are being blessed right now. So I highly recommend when we work with the dragons, if we get an oracle card and it feels in alignment with us, that we welcome them in. So I like to say, Celtic dragon of the highest vibration of unconditional love, working for my highest good. I welcome you in to help me today to find this peace, to find this relaxation and harmony. And I thank you for joining me. So this beautiful dragon will be the overseer of the rest of your message. So everything will be in the context of the message from that dragon as we continue this reading. So let's flip over our cards here. And this deck that I'm working with doesn't really deal with reversed cards. If I feel that the message is supposed to be reversed, I will deliver it that way. But we're just going to flip them up right now. Oh, I flipped that one upside down. Okay. So the 5 of Wands really speaks of being in a stressful situation, being stressed out, really having, notice how these wands are all scattered about and the lines on the card are going in all different directions. So it's really about having your focus pulled in all directions and having your attention pulled in all directions. And you might not be saving enough of your attention and your time for yourself. 5 of Wands can mean, because it is the wands, it can mean it is more your inner person. So it's not necessarily your material things. It's more your emotional, your mental. It is you. So it indicates, I mean, it makes sense because with the Celestite dragon, you were being offered some assistance in finding relaxation and peace. And the Five of Wands shows that right now you don't have that. And it is time to look at prioritizing making yourself more centered, giving yourself some time to focus on you and how your inner world is going on before you give out all your energy in different directions, before you scatter to different projects or giving your energy to different people. So the Seven of Swords can indicate that there is something being hidden. If you notice, there's 6 swords here hovering above this beautiful fox, but the 7th is underneath them. So sometimes it can represent something you are hiding or something someone else is hiding from you. But I feel in this case, it's strongly likely that you've been hiding from yourself how hard it is to give your focus away in all these directions. It may not be something that you've realized you're doing or you've realized how detrimental it is to you. And so it's time to really look at your patterns and your behaviors and make some time for yourself. Now the Ace of Pentacles here, the Pentacles suit deals a lot with material things sometimes. So this card is really pointing to new beginnings. This tree has been cut down, but look, there's still new coming. There's still new potential there. Where an old one was cut down, sometimes a tiny little sprout will come up in the middle and continue to grow. So this, because of the cutting reference, it not only represents cutting away the old, releasing what no longer serves, but the fact that you are beginning a new journey, and that journey is going to be prosperous because the Pentacles deals with material wealth and other types of wealth as well. And in this case, it's a new beginning. This tree is beginning to sprout anew, and that new little tree is going to grow up to be a beautiful, prosperous tree. And I think that it's really showing you that if you take time to pull your focus in, find out why you're so scattered about, find out if it's, if that's what's been hidden from you, that you didn't realize how scattered you are and how little you're giving yourself the time you deserve. To center, to ground, I mean, you can go out in nature. You can just do something for you every day, but try to do something like meditation or sitting with yourself, not necessarily doing something that's another distraction. So watching a movie, while it does give you some you time, it might just distract you from something you need to look at and haven't been looking at. Let's see what other messages the dragons have for you with these next cards. So we have Five of Wands again. So these are both Five of Wands. We'll see if the message is slightly different in the next deck. We have the Hanged Man. And we have Three of Pentacles. All right. So in this card, we have a lot more going on. We have people literally dueling each other all over. We have the dragons flying around. Oh, I hope you can see that. Sorry. People dueling each other. We have chaos energy. We have the dragons. We do have full moon, which is beautiful, but it looks to me like this card is really a lot of people harming each other. People either learning to defend themselves, but it really feels more like attacking. So you might have people demanding your time. You might have people who are more selfish out there and you've been giving to them when they aren't giving back to you. So it might not just be unfocused in general, but it might be like really focused more with the people that you're giving your energy to, giving your time to, giving your attention to. Even if you're not actually engaging with people, if someone you've had an argument in the past and you keep focusing on it, or you keep going over in your mind some conflict with people, even if it's not actually happening at this moment, that attention and focus could be harming you in some way because you're not letting go of the past. Then it's stuck. And so if that feels like something that aligns with you, and keep in mind different messages that come through will be for different people, but if that is one that sticks with you, welcome in these dragons, these celestite dragons. Welcome them in to help you to release that old trauma, that old burden, so that it no longer replays for you in your mind, continuing to stress you out and make you lose focus. In this beautiful version of the Hanged Man, we have this man upside down, and he is surrounded by these dragons. They are all over there checking him out. They're questioning what's happening. None of them are reaching out to help him yet, but he is also not reaching out. He's just hanging there. He's just suspended, and he's not attempting to reach the side. He's just in pause. So this can indicate that either something you've been working on is kind of paused, your life is paused, or that a way you used to do things no longer works, so it's not getting you anywhere. It can be a signal that you're about to have a fresh new start, that after this, you make a decision, you change the way you do something. If you were this man, you would actually then attempt to grab the rocks, and maybe those dragons would help pull you to safety. But you have to take a course of action before you will get there. Because right now you're just in a little bit of stagnation. I do think it has to do with changing the way you let others treat you, because looking at this card is really strong. Looking at the Five of Wands, a really strong indicator that there are conflicts or things in your life that aren't serving. So it's either you stepping out of the conflict or you standing up for yourself and creating more boundaries. And that's going to lead to some really good changes. In your next card, we have Three of Pentacles. And the Pentacles, again, can be a side of material things. And this is a good one. You see, this man is painting. He's painting pentacles on the door, and those are a symbol of protection. They're a good symbol, and he is crafting his art. He's got dragon friends all around admiring him. This looks like a secure place to be. He looks quite carefree and in the flow of what he is doing. So it's another card along with the Ace of Pentacles that shows you that if you make these changes and you bring your focus back to you, you figure out what path it is you need to take, you figure out what it is you need to be doing, maybe set some boundaries with other people, maybe double check that there isn't any deception from others or from yourself to yourself, because obviously sometimes we have conflicts with others, but a lot of the time we are self-sabotaging, and it's us that is in the way of us. So this conflict could even be inner conflict between pieces of you that aren't sure what you want yet. And it's time to sit with yourself long enough to make a decision, to get familiar with what your heart wants, so that you can reap these other beautiful rewards. That's all for now, Pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you work with the Celestite dragons to help you find this peace and relaxation and reach these new places of abundance. Thanks for coming. If you like this, please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for more videos. Welcome, Pile 2, to your dragon important message, your important message from your dragon guides today. Today, the dragon that you have received is Sapphire Dragon. And I don't have any sapphires here, or I would show one, but you can see this dragon is carrying one. So feel into that energy of Sapphire Dragon. And I'm going to read this oracle card because sometimes they're a little more in depth and give information that I wouldn't know, and I'll intuit anything else that comes up while I'm looking at it. Sapphire Dragon is about spiritual truth, tranquility, balance, wisdom, and calming. You are coming into a state of personal peace and harmony as you begin to feel more connected to yourself and your spiritual path. Sapphire Dragon is here to help you focus on your spiritual gifts, bringing you added knowledge, wisdom, and a greater sense of balance between your physical and spiritual life. This will open you up to sharing what you know with others who are receptive and understanding of your spirituality. It will also encourage you to speak your truth without fear as you stand up for what is right. Sapphire Dragon wants you to embrace your spiritual side, for it will bless your life. And as I work with different guides, I always like to, when I do these oracle readings, especially with the dragons, to invite them in to help me in the ways they said. Because even though we've read that they're here to help you, if you don't invite them in, they usually can only help so much. So I would normally say, Sapphire Dragon, working with the highest vibration of unconditional love, for the highest good of all and my highest good, I welcome you to come in and help me with all that you've mentioned. Help me open my spiritual gifts and help me to focus in positive ways. We're going to set this guy back over here as we look at the rest of your cards. Beautiful. I love seeing that pop of color. So here we have the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles can represent both material items as well as different spiritual items. And 10 is a number that signifies completion. It's the end of a cycle. 1 is the beginning, 10 is the completion. So this is signaling that you've either achieved some material goals or some of your spiritual goals, or in every area of your life, you have kind of completed a cycle. And that means that soon you'll be ready to embark on a new cycle. But since you have completed it and you are wrapping things up, you've learned a lot on your journey. And so it can be a good time to share your experience with others. If people are asking for your advice, it can be a great time to offer some of the wisdom you've learned along the way. It's showing that you've gone through a great deal and you have come out and you are wiser, and hopefully you're close to where you would want it to be. I mean, we always make new goals. That's kind of the fun, right? Like as we continue on, we make new goals. So it's also important, as you've reached some stage of completion, to look back at what has been completed in your life. What have you accomplished? And really celebrate that before you start the next thing and the next wants, because it's important to really appreciate where we've come and how far we've come. This card, the Six of Wands, is really supporting that as well. This butterfly was originally a caterpillar somewhere down here and a cocoon, and it is now risen up above this dense, heavy shrubbery. And some of those things were probably really great, but some were also hard. They were hard to get through. That's really tightly packed. But you are this butterfly. You are above it all. You have risen through it. Just like this is saying you're completing something, the butterfly is as well. You've completed it and you've gotten a new set of wings because of the transformation you have gone through. You've gone through the heavy stuff, you've gone through the muck, and you have been awarded wings, and you are off to new adventures in the light and in the sky. So that's very exciting. And I like to point out how in this card, this is the Lovers, but notice how these birds are also flying free in the sky. So you've gone through the heaviness and you have earned these wings, and you're going to fly now, and you're not going to fly alone. So the Lovers cards can mean a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to. It means that in your future, you're going to have strong support from others. You're going to have a strong support team, and that's where you're headed now to find this. So it can be a tribe, it can be a team of people, it can be a relationship you're already in, and it just is calling attention to that to appreciate more that you have such a supportive partner now. And if you're looking for a partner and you've been trying to manifest one, it can indicate that you're going to have a partner come to you who is also supportive and strong on this new path that you're taking. Now, remember, Sapphire Dragon really focused a lot on your spirituality and on taking more steps into it. So maybe this path is really, you've completed what came before and maybe even a level of your spirituality, but now it's time to go deeper, to learn more, to grow more, to start something else. So lovers indicate strongly supportive people around you, helping and understanding what you're going through. So you might find a group of other spiritual people or people who have just gone through something really similar to what you have come out of here. And in that, you're going to find great things. Now let's check in and see what the other dragon cards are here to tell you about. So the Six of Swords, you see this dragon and this woman. She is strong, standing strong. You also see another beautiful little dragon with her. She carries one sword. Her bigger guardian carries another 5. And together, you can see they're getting ready to embark on a journey to that castle over there. And maybe that castle's her castle, maybe it's her dreams, maybe it's a spiritual gateway. But she's embarking on a journey. And so you have completed one and you have a new journey that is ahead of you. And it might just be connection with self. It might be going into your inner realms, finding your inner self and seeing what kind of beautiful, joyous gifts that you can find there. Your next card is the Three of Pentacles. And there is a lot of good things here. Pentacles can represent material things, so this can represent some material wealth, but it might also represent spiritual wealth and spiritual knowledge. This is an artist, and you can see he's totally just in the flow. He's enjoying it. He's painting these pentacles on this door, maybe even the door to this castle that you journey to. And he's got all these other little dragons supporting him, hanging out with him. And he is carefree. He is just doing what he should. So this is him following his path. You know, you've been following, you've been fighting things a lot. You've had to deal with a lot of stuff to get where you are now. But now you're free to find a way to follow this path. And this journey might be figuring out what your path is and what you want to do. Because really, I like to say, my guides have really told me a lot that we do have plans when we come here. Obviously, it's a thing. We know we have some plans, but oftentimes there's a lot of wiggle room. You know, we come with interests. We come with things we like. We come with certain goals, and they may not be our career. They may be things we find our way to later. But when it is your career and your time and what you want to do, you have a lot of leeway to pick what feels right to you. A lot of times you can share gifts with the world in a lot of different ways. And so you pick the ways that are most fun to you to accomplish your goal. And that's how you kind of follow your path. So it's always good to look for things that light your heart up, that are fun. And if you're in a place where you're not sure what is fun because you've been going through the heaviness so long, it's time to get out and just try some things to see if you like them or not. Try some new classes, try some outside hiking. You know, I know we're still dealing with some COVID restrictions here and there, but it's okay to get out and try something new. Even if it's like a new hobby, try a craft, try painting, try writing, try scootering. You know, just get out there if you're not sure where your passion lies and try some things till you can kind of figure out what you really like. And our last card here is the Five of Swords. And you can see this one looks a little less happy, right? There's two people kind of dueling. There's a dragon blocking the door, breathing fire, intense energy. So this can indicate some conflict. And it might be that as you find your path, you're going to have a little bit of resistance from people in your life. So it can be nice as you're looking for your path, or even if you know what it is, as you're starting new adventures, as you're beginning things, you don't always have to tell everybody. Because until you've really got your feet landed and you've got an idea of what you're doing, sometimes people will jump in with their opinions and get you so down that you decide not to try or not to keep going because of somebody else. So it can be something along those lines. It could be someone having a hard time with your new path. Like, I know, as much as the nice thing here is, as much as this might be someone struggling with your path, the geese represent someone new or someone in your life supporting your path and supporting where you're headed. So you will have possibly both. And it's important to remember that if you're in a place where you have family members or friends that don't understand why you want to make changes or what you're doing with your spirituality, if they're not spiritual people, you will also find people that support it and are there to support you. So don't let this get you down, and don't give away all your ideas and all your plans to people before you've really got a good start, because sometimes sharing spreads the energy too thin when you need to be focusing that energy on what you're creating before you share it with others. So overall, we have a good reading. You've already been through heck and back, You've already come out. You're beginning new things. You're starting new journeys. You're going to land in a place that's really in the flow, really your life purpose. You just might run into some people along the way that don't have your best interest at heart, but the important thing is not to become one of these fighters. Like, don't pick up a sword and start trying to slay them too. Put the sword down and walk away, because you will find your people. And that's what's coming for you, Pile 2. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, please feel free to click like and subscribe. And we look forward to seeing you at next week's video. And Pile 2, if you're still here, I wanted to remind you that if you're having trouble finding your path, if you're having trouble navigating what you should do, remember to call on your sapphire dragon, because they can help you. They can help give you the ideas and suggestions to get you going where you're meant to go. All right, thanks, Pile 2. Welcome, Pile 3, to your Dragon Guide message of the week. This will be a message to you from your guide, something important that should help. And remember that sometimes one message you hear won't quite align, but another one will. So if any of this feels right to you, take that and leave the rest, because there's lots of people who these messages are for today. So let's check in with who the Dragon Guide is speaking to you. So today you have the Onyx Dragon. And I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about him from the book, because with the oracle cards, sometimes they have more insightful info, and as I get more intuitive guidance, I will add to it as well. Onyx Dragon is about personal strength, support, balancing, and healing. It is time for you to take control of your destiny. Time to be in charge of your own life without feeling the need to rely on the help of others. Onyx Dragon is here to let you know that you have the power inside of you to control where your life is headed. It wants you to take in all experiences you've had and all the lessons you've learned from them so that you can move forward, stronger and more confident each day. Believe in yourself, in all that you are and all that you can be. And one thing I find very important when you pull an oracle card and you have your spirit guide dragons there with you is to actually invite them in to help. Onyx Dragon has some beautiful things it wants you to feel. It wants you to be empowered. It wants you to feel like you've really learned some lessons and that you have the authority to give some advice, or to have learned them so well you don't have to learn them again. And for Onyx to come in and assist with that, it's really important that you invite them in. So I always add, after pulling an oracle card of this type, I welcome in Onyx Dragons of the highest vibration of unconditional love, working for my highest good and the highest good of all, to help me today to feel empowered and to recognize where I have already grown and made really good progress in my journey. And we'll set him here. Black is also a really good color for protection, so you can work with Onyx Dragon to bring in some protection for you if you're feeling like you need a little extra support. Let's check on what other cards we've got going on. The Sun is a beautiful card here. I know I love the Sun. I really love it, and I'm really looking forward to the fact that here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving towards spring and summer. But just look at this. Look at the way it's radiating out, all those beautiful rays of light in all directions. This is a really beautiful card of vitality, of feeling good. It shows that, like when you sit on a warm, sunny day outside and you are able to just relax and soak in all that Mother Nature has to offer. That type of energy is surrounding you right now. You are being blessed. You do have the sun here to support you and these rays of light shining down on you at this moment. Which ironically is in such strong opposition to this card of Cups, where it is black, it is bleak, the cups are broken. So I'm going to pull another card to see if I can get some more clarity about how these are related. Because over here again, we have a lot of good things, again with the Three of Cups. So let's see, you might have things that you've been neglecting. I mean, these cups are not full, but the Sun represents that the ability to be full is coming to you. So let me pull another card to see if we can get any more ideas to why we have such stark contrast. So the Daughter of Cups is a very, very gentle creature. You know, they're showing this beautiful swan here. She is a dreamer, and she is often floating around, not always focused on her current situation. And so I'm feeling like it might be that this is not as bleak as it seems, but because you are a sensitive, which is not a negative thing, being sensitive gives lots of bonuses when you're working with understanding yourself, your true inner knowing, and being able to interpret your gifts and your different abilities. But it can be really challenging when you're facing harshness in the world. I mean, being sensitive makes those things all the bigger. So while you do have the sun here, I feel like there are some things happening in your life that aren't serving you. And those may not be the big picture, but small things, but they might feel like the big picture to you, as you'd rather be floating around totally ignoring those things, having the time of your life. So it's time to look at what things aren't serving you and what you might need to let go of so you can really even have more time of this other healthy, beautiful energy. It might be people that you need to walk away from. It might be habits. It might be self-sabotage. There are things, though, that if you are able to walk away and just leave that behind, you're going to have a more happy time. So it's time to take a look. And Onyx Dragon is here to help you as well. So if you are confused about those things, if you need help feeling empowered enough to make those changes, call on Onyx Dragon to assist you, because that's why he's here. Because once you get over this hurdle, once you get past whatever it is that you need to let go of, whatever is not serving you, you are going to end up here in this other beautiful sunshine. Again, you're in the sunshine, the similar colors, the yellows and reds. So you might want to look at family members or people in your life you've known a long time, because sometimes reds indicate the root chakra. So maybe, you know, you've got some toxicity in your friends or family or your own habits. Again, it could be coming from your own habits and things that maybe you learned when you were young as a coping mechanism that don't serve anymore. But once you heal those, once you clear out that old energy, you're here and you've got friends supporting you. You've got a beautiful sunshiny day and you have these 3 full cups. So you're headed to beautiful places. You just have a little bit of work to do first. And now let's check in and see what the dragons have to add to that, more specifically with these dragon cards. You got the sun again. Awesome. So this sun card, again, you can tell it's got these beautiful fire dragons and they look like they're right on the surface of the sun. It's a lot of raw, creative energy, and they are using it to make these beautiful spirals and to fuel up. They're being recharged by the sun. And so it's important for you to make sure you're taking time to recharge, to fill up with this light, to not focus so much on heaviness. And that can be the media you consume, the things that you're looking at. That might be another reason why it's not too big. It's not necessarily even something in your inner life, but something you're seeing that is shifting the balance, when we need to focus on what is filling you up, what is bringing you this heat and this life and this creative joy. And next you have the Page of Swords, which really does go along with kind of the message we received up here about something distracting you, something you shouldn't be putting focus on is happening. So here we have this boy, and he is playing with this cute little dragon, and he's got shields behind him, he's got swords, he's got protection. And down at the bottom, he's got another little dragon who has started a fire, and this fire is on a scroll. So what's happening is he's not taking care of his wisdom. He's not taking care to make sure that not even just his wisdom, but his mind. He's focused on other things, and he's letting things affect the knowledge, the mental area. So while he is having fun, he's just not paying enough attention to what's happening around him or to where dangers might be coming from. And again, this can be self-sabotage. This can be the stuff that you are watching, hearing, letting into your mind. It could be negative thoughts that are on repeat, and it could be negative self-talk. So if you're dealing with any of those things, call on your Onyx Dragon to assist. And you can call your other teams too, because they can help offer suggestions. They can help offer guidance for things you could change or where to look to find what's wrong. Because once you find that, look at this card. This is the Emperor, and he is super well adjusted. He spends his time out in nature, and yet he's still covered with all the royal jewels. He's in his throne, but he has a beautiful guide always with him, and he has beautiful family and beautiful life. And it's not saying you're going to necessarily find the perfect family and perfect life, but it's saying that as you go through and take a little more better care of your mind, your mental body, you will be able then to reap the benefits of being balanced and in harmony and in perfect harmony with yourself. And that will then lead you where you're supposed to be if there's new people supposed to come in, or the people in your life are going to be there supporting you, because you'll have gained this sense of strength and power. Not power over others, but empowerment. You're going to find your inner strength and your empowerment by going through this. But Onyx Dragon is here to help you, and it really seems like you are already soaking in the light. You are a light worker, maybe. You might be a really spiritual person already doing healings like I am. And it might just be that you're letting little things kind of kick you off your path or kick you down into a lower vibration when you're capable of being so high already. So you just need to find what those little things are that are in your way, and then you'll get into even more balance and more beauty and more inner power. And that's what we all hope for. So I hope this message was really helpful to you, Pile 3. And if it was, feel free to hit like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next week in our next week's video. Thank you.